The 1959 VW Beetle Think Small ad is one that's worth having a look at in a little bit of detail because there are some great lessons for advertisers today inside of this ad. Now, to really understand it, you have to look at the context that it sat in at the time. This is a relatively unknown German brand launching into a very patriotic American market, which is starting to get into muscle cars, where the competition have big engines, the cars themselves are getting bigger, and they tend to advertise around some of those new key statistics that they've got, particularly that idea of more power. The VW is got a small engine, it's a small car, it's pretty cramped to get 5 people into it. And it's by no means a foregone conclusion that this car is going to go on to launch successfully, let alone to be a huge bestseller. But where the ad really helps the car to succeed is in creating a really clear space for it. And you can see just by looking at the ad itself that the art execution of this really delivers on that message of think small. You know, the position of the car, the look of the ad, it looks very different, it grabs your attention, it stands out, and the art supports the message really nicely. But probably what's really the most clever component of this is that think small message. Because in a marketplace where everybody else is effectively saying bigger is better, bigger is better, bigger is better, think small doesn't just stand out, it also creates this completely divided positioning where everybody else is competing in sort of for 50% of the share of mind of the customer, and think small is so different, stands out so much that it's really competing in a white space of its own, and it's probably owning a lot more share of mind for the customer than any of those other brands. Not least that message connects into the key reasons that people might buy this, so it also has an activating component. The car is physically smaller, it's easier to drive, it's smaller in terms of price, smaller in terms of running costs, and also it ties into an emotional element around the opposite of bigger is better. And it's probably no surprise that the Beetle represents a lot of what we think about when we think about the flower power movement. It's saying, you know, maybe we don't need more, maybe we can live smaller, maybe we can be simpler. So it has an emotional component as well. And we see that when you get all of those things right, that this advert by no means is the only reason why this car was a huge success, was the first car to sell 20 million units, why this car was produced for many, many, many years. But this ad played a key role in setting up how people understood the brand and setting up the reasons for people to go out and buy the brand. And so this ad played a huge role, and I think those key lessons of grabbing attention, of clearly standing out, of having a message which supported that very different positioning for the brand and was connected to the reasons to buy, that's the kind of golden formula that helped make this ad so successful and helped the car to launch in such a successful way in the US.